Hey Flosstube, take 5. This is Becky, the South Texas Stitcher. I have been trying to do this now for a couple of days. There has been something gone wrong every time. I had to stop just a few minutes ago because the cat wanted to keep walking in front and it was becoming annoying. I have been able to get some stitching done. As I said, for my Maynia, I was doing some Christmas stockings for my grandchildren. And I started the first 2. Technically, I've got 3 started. I started 1 last year, but last year's start was a test to see if I liked the colors together. So there's a little bit done on 1, but I've never really gone any further back, and I really did like the colors. But I had put it aside at that time because at the moment I was working on a bigger piece and I wanted to work on that. The stocking was just kind of an evening of, let me look at something else, make a decision before I continue on with the stocking. And then back in April, when everybody was talking about Maynias and stuff, and somebody mentioned there were 5 weeks or 5 Fridays, depending on how you counted in May, and I went, oh, 5 grandchildren, 5 stockings. It'll be a perfect start. It'll make me stop putting it off. I won't have an excuse to, I was like, oh, I don't have all the stocking stuff. Oh, I'll just put it off. I have since got all the stocking stuff. I have got DMC floss everywhere because I wanted to make sure that I bought enough floss for each one, because some of them take a lot of red, some take a lot of brown. Just depends on what the stocking was as to what color. They all seem to have at least one overlying color that goes through it all. Excuse me, I did get the first one started. I started with my middle grandson, who's the son of my middle daughter, who claims that everybody treats the middle children the worst, that they never get to be first, so therefore I started with his first. This is his. This is the toe of his. It is just on an off-white colored Aida. Nothing, no over-dyed or anything like that. This is an older pattern, and I've got the toe done. I picked this one for him because out of all the years I've been stitching, I've only ever done 1 stocking, and that was for my middle child. So therefore, she's the only one who has a cross-stitch stocking. And I had originally started to do that one for my son. But when I started it, I discovered that the piece of fabric I was working on wasn't wide enough. I had enough for the tall part of the boot, but I didn't have enough to go out. And it was very frustrating. I thought about just doing the boy by himself, and then I went, no, I wanted it to be the stocking. So I stopped. All he had ever done was the hat. So I stopped working on that and decided, oh well, too bad. I'll get back to it someday, and I never did. Well, now is a good time to start. So technically that pattern is from 1986. That's when I purchased it. So 86, this is going to be 34 years later. So that pattern's 34 years old, so I doubt you'll be able to find that if you like that. Then the second grandson, he is my youngest grandson. I'm starting with his next. It was one of those deals where I had fabric for him, and I was still kind of missing a piece of fabric or 2. I originally bought white fabric for his, but when I was looking at the pattern, and he's getting the Toy Soldier, this is Stony Creek pattern. The Toy Soldier, he's done on kind of an over-dyed linen. I don't like doing stockings on linen. I don't think they hold up well. Most people store their Christmas stuff in a garage or an attic, and the linen in the heat, and especially in Texas, I don't think they would survive very long. So I definitely use an Aida or an even weave. I think the white I had bought was a Joblin or Laguna, one of those 2. Anyway, so when I started to look at this and realized I don't want to do him on white because I love his hair. He's very Einstein or mad scientist. I didn't think this would show up well on the white. So I kind of backtracked and went and bought some more fabric. shocking I had to go buy fabric. It was just horrible. And I bought a new piece. This is kind of from the haul that I had last week. This is Selkie from Under the Sea Fabrics. It's a 14 count Aida. We're very happy. I'm very excited to know that the Under the Sea Fabrics company owner, she lives here in San Antonio. So my LNS, it gets extra pieces and stuff that we can see and touch and feel and make our decision beforehand. At first I thought it was going to be a little dark, but then I thought, you know, there's a lot of red and stuff in it. So when I've been working on this, this is what I've got done on his so far. Excuse me. My nose is going to itch now that I'm doing this. So I'm working on the bear, and I love his little buffalo plaid vest. I love red buffalo plaid. It's just one of my favorite fabrics. But he's got his little vest. There's his little shoulder. I started his arm, and then of course, put this other way. There's his nose, and I know that nose looks black, but there's 4 different colors in that nose. I was like, good grief. The face, this bear's face, is lots of brown. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is doing the outline that I need to do for that brown, and then just sit there one evening or several evenings and go back and forth and do a fill, which doesn't bother me to sit there and do something mindless like that because it'll make easy going. So that's really the only stitching I have done since May 1st because it is Maynia, and I said I was only working on the stockings. It has been hard because there's been several other pieces that were sitting near my chair that where I stitch at that I went, I really want to touch that. It's like, no. I told myself, May, it's only stockings. You can only do the stockings in May. So I have been good and not picked up the other things that I keep telling myself, you must start this. I did get to finally go to our LNS last week. We do have one here in San Antonio called Stitches from the Heart. I'm very happy that we have one close to home. At one time, San Antonio had 3 cross-stitch stores. And over years and retirement and movings and stuff, we're down to the one. But it's an awesome store, so I'm happy. They all 3 were awesome stores. Each one had a little something different. I have to admit that they are not Shepherd's Bush, Sampler, or Blackbird design heavy. None of them were. And I'm so pleased about that because, to be perfectly honest, I'm not a primitive stitcher. And Shepherd's Bush and Blackbird, all that primitive, it just, no, it's not for me. And then samplers have alphabets. I hate stitching letters. Even though I have done, in the last year, I have done 3 samplers that had alphabets, and I was so excited not to have to do anymore for a while. Of course, once I get to the end of each stocking, I will be stitching their names at the top, but since I don't foresee finishing any of these stockings within the next week or so, what a laugh, that I won't have to worry about that anytime soon. But as I did say, I did get to go shopping last week. I was so excited. Even though you weren't supposed to be in there very long, since there wasn't really anybody else there at the time, I did stay longer than I should have. So I was like, oh well. Anyway, let's see. Let me show you some of my haul here. Put my glasses on so I can see what I did. So the first one I did was, this is a piece, it's, picture this plus, it's new, I guess it's from Market. It's called Velum. Now, when you're at the cross-stitch store, they have fluorescent lighting and it looks very greenish, and here it's very brown. It does look a lot, in person though, it does look like a lot like the vellum you would see in a, like at a wedding invitation or a graduation invitation, where they put it between the card, in the middle of the card, to keep the raised print from embossing the other side. So it does have a little bit of that look. This is going to go with the new Rosewood Manor Hunter-Gatherer. I fell in love with this. The colors are just spectacular in that. My husband's a hunter, so I thought of him when I saw this immediately. He does hunt deer. He doesn't hunt the little birds because, as we said, they're useless to eat because they're so small. People say, but they taste good. I said, I'm not messing with something that's just 1 or 2 bites. But yes, this hunter-gatherer. Now, we did laugh. I did laugh because I said, we're not gatherers. If we had to gather our food, we would all starve to death. I mean, we tried to grow a tomato. All we had to do was water this stupid thing. And I watered it. All we got was green stalks. It never got a tomato. I don't know what we did wrong. The colors for this, and I bought all the called for colors when I saw it because they just screamed at me. This is the color palette, and the blue and the green and the purple. The purple's called Concord. It made me think of my youngest daughter because she was born in Concord, Massachusetts, and this blue, let's find get it out showing better. This blue and the green and the Concord together, they just are beautiful together. The others there are the beiges and the greens. They complement each other also. But I mean, this on top of this Velum, when I put them together, it was like, yes, this is what needs to be done. And I know a lot of people go around, well, I'm going to change the color. And I have done that on occasion, but this was so lovely without, and the colors that are called for, I just said no, this has to be done on this. So and to go with that, of course, you know, if you have a new project, you have to have a project bag. So I made my new project. I have 2 new project bags. I made John Wayne project bags. I'm a John Wayne fanatic. In fact, to stitch, if I want to stitch for a couple of hours and I want to have a TV on or something, El Dorado, John Wayne, that's the movie to watch. Big Jake. I can't do it during McClintock because McClintock's funny and I keep watching TV and I quit stitching. So one of those things where I know I need to stitch, but I have to watch this. And I don't care how many times I've seen it. I try not to watch the ones that make me cry just because those are too distressing to watch while you're stitched, but I love the funny ones. But I have that new project bag, and for my new hunter-gatherer, I guess it's apropos that John Wayne was a hunter. Then the second new project I bought that came in, this was also a market that came in from, that I had actually, I ordered this not before market. I ordered it after market because I really told myself, no, you don't need that. You have too many other things to do. You don't need that. And my brain whined and my soul cringed. So I ended up buying it after all. And trying to take out this thing out of the project bag. So the the thing I bought, and I don't know about everybody else, but this is Newcastle Bouquet. It has alphabets. But these colors, where the hunter-gatherer was the purple and the green and the blue, these reds and the gold are just awesome. I mean, I look at this and I go, wow, my brain does not, I could never be a designer. I could never come up with anything like this. I mean, literally, just no, my brain does not work that way. The color of the fabric on this is called straw, and I have seen it in real life. Held it in my hand, and I didn't like it. It was too brown. It was dark. It was too brown. It didn't have as much as the gold as in the picture. And I know dye lots do things, but I just felt that there's a gnat bothering me. That the dye lot for this, I don't think it held true to what the picture showed. So when I was at the cross stitch store, yeah, it's gonna make me nuts. When I was at the cross stitch store and I was looking to kit it up, because of course, once you pick up the pattern, you're like, oh, I've got to do this. So for Newcastle Bouquet, instead of straw, I went with Squash Blossom from this is Lakeside Linen. And this is a beautiful yellow. Maybe put it that way. And it's just a gorgeous yellow. And when I first pulled it up to say this is what I was going to do it on, because my owner of my LNS was saying, you know, she just didn't have any more of the straw. And I said, well, I really didn't like the straw she had. I said, but what if you do these colors on that yellow? And she and I both went, wow, those reds and browns and the green just really pop off. Now, I have the DMC equivalent to the Weeks Dye Works and the Classic Color Works that it called for. Everybody who pre-ordered before market was able to get the colors, but because I waited till after market to finally make the decision that yes, we're going to stitch this, the cayenne, everything was sold out except for the glazed carrots. And I've looked online, and the other stores that I saw online, they were sold out also, and I don't know how long it'll take to make more, so oh well. Then the second project bag, because of course Newcastle Bouquet needed one, we have again John Wayne, my hero. There's the big fabric. There's a bumper sticker in Texas that says, all a girl needs is God, her daddy, and John Wayne. And we've got God. I had the most awesome daddy, and John Wayne's on our soul. In fact, when my father passed away in early March, and we did the service, my dad was one of the last funerals that was allowed to be in San Antonio. We were like, phew. My brother commented that our dad was our own personal John Wayne. Because my dad truly, he was the hats, the boots, the lifestyle. I mean, he didn't have a horse, but if he probably put his mind to it, he probably would have ridden a horse, but he just didn't. He was tall, he was lanky. Well, let me rephrase that. He was lankier in his younger years, pudged out just a little bit there at the end. I guess, you know, but he lost all that weight just before he passed away. But he was our own personal John Wayne. And the people who sent me kind words about the loss of my father, thank you. But he had been very ill, and even though the family, you know, was saddened by his loss, we also were relieved that his suffering was over, and that he was out of pain, and that was a big happiness for us, is that he was out of pain. So anyway, that was Squash Blossom, and that is going to be for my Newcastle Bouquet with the DMC colors. Then let's see, I told you about Sulky. Oh, the next things I bought is all my Needleminders a couple of weeks ago disappeared. I mean, I couldn't find them. And I was like, I mean, I know people who have hundreds of Needleminders. I'm like, oh my God. But I don't have that many. I have like 6 or 7. Well, all 6 or 7 disappeared all at once. I mean, it was like they were just gone. And I think I scrounged up one. I forget where I found it. And I was like, okay, this is one. Where are the others? Well, I was digging in a bag in my stash, and found 3 more. And I know I'm still missing a couple, because I know at least one is a Zappy Dot that I received as a gift, and I'd really like to have it back since it was a gift. And then I have one that's a very odd frog. I think I know where the frog is at. Yes, I think I know where the frog is at. And then I have cameo Needleminders. I have a thing for cameos. So a lot of my Needleminders are cameos that I have personally made. And all my cameo Needleminders had disappeared. Well, I opened up this one bag and found 3 of them. So I was very excited about that. So I've been putting them to use. But one of the other things that I bought was this wonderful Needleminder. Let's see, where'd it go? There it goes. There we go. Can you see that? It says, I'm not in charge. is Southern Lady code for they're doing it wrong. That is so me. Yes. If you ask me about it, it's probably because you were doing it wrong. And if you just asked me to begin with and let me take care of it, it would have been done right. And yes, I am that person to be that way. So it's one of those deals where, please, people, just let me take care of it. My husband gets mad at me for doing that. He goes, "You're doing too much." I said, "Yes, but I know it's getting done." And that's always been my big thing. Yes, I know it's getting done, though. The next thing I bought on the same shopping spree was, and I don't know how this is going to work. I have never stitched with silk before. And the last video I showed you that I was going to be working on, let's see, right there, Gaia. She's from Bella Filipina. This dark brown here is silk. It is Espresso by Water Lilies. Ooh, that's coming out nicely. All that purple and brown, it's coming out very nicely. I've never stitched, well, I can't say I've never stitched with silk. I did it once before, and I didn't like the way it felt on my hands. And I was thinking about it, and I figured maybe it was because I was maybe I was stitching in the winter with it. I hadn't really considered that. And perchance because of that, my hands were dry and rough at the time. And so it didn't feel good. So I didn't like it. So since right now my hands are okay from dryness, we'll see how long that lasts. I'm going to try stitching with silk again. I don't know how it's going to work out. We'll see. So that was my haul. I am missing. Oh. And then I had one other Needleminder I bought. Where'd it go? There we go. There we go. It's not going to, let's see if I can get it to show up. It says I'm part of the Needlework Nation, or I'm Needlework Nation. It's that pattern. I belong to the Cross Stick Nation. That's what it says. It's just a little zappy dot that I bought, and because as I said, my Needleminders were disappearing. Next thing I did was, everybody's been talking about waxers, and the cross stitch thread, the floss, the DMC floss I'm using for my the first Christmas stocking I did. When I pulled out 356, I was looking at it, and I think, because I haven't, it's not a color I use very often. It's just not something I use. And I think the 356 I have is from the original stocking that I did in the 90s. I mean, the little bobbin that it's on looks like it's that old. So I was looking at that, and because it had been on there for so long, when you would unwind it, it just had all those little fold kinks on it from being on the bobbin for so long. And somebody said if you use a waxer, that'll help. So I bought some beeswax in a mold. Actually, I bought 2 molds. I didn't like the first one. And I made my very own beeswaxer. So, of course, it's Texas, South Texas. And I was really impressed with how it came out. And I hadn't used Thread Heaven once before. I didn't like Thread Heaven. I didn't think it really was that heavenly. But my Thread Heaven didn't last very long, because I must have been cleaning up the area I'd been stitching in and stuck it in my blue jean pocket, and then didn't think about it and washed clothes, and Thread Heaven went through the washing machine and dryer, and then it was never a Thread Heaven again. It was kind of a lump in the bottom of the little blue box that it came in. So I tried this, and I ran it across the back with that crinkly floss, and that floss just straightened out and perked up, and I stitched with it, and it went through the fabric just beautifully, no knots. And I was like, oh my God, why didn't somebody tell me about thread waxers years ago? So, because I still have floss from my grandmother, and my grandmother passed away in 1992. So, yes, I have old floss. I still have the DMC, where the little paper wraps are the black, the solid black with the gold, like the old Singers. So I still have some of that. So that tells you how old that floss is. So that was something I made. I actually made 6 of these. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with the others just yet. I think one may be a gift, but I have those. So that was my haul from last week. Then on Mother's Day, my daughter called me, my oldest daughter called me, who she stitches, and she said that Happy Mother's Day. She says, and I called the cross stitch store up there, and they're holding a gift certificate for you. And I went, oh! So today, shucks darn, I had to go up there for something, and I was working on the teddy bear stocking today, and realized that his buttons, the little buttons are a treasure braid type floss, and I didn't have the right color, or at least let me rephrase that. I had the color, I didn't have enough. It was what I have is attached to a project, and I do not want to take it away from that project, so I had to, of course, go buy treasure braid. And when I was looking at the pattern, because I thought I'll just get one card, I realized that that pattern uses a lot of treasure braid. So today I had to go up to the cross stitch store and had to go and buy treasure braid and stuff. So and then I went, before I left, I was smart, before I left, I checked the other patterns, and sure enough, one of the other patterns uses it also. So when I went to the cross stitch store today, I had to go buy more treasure braid. So we have that. And then because I did check, I found out that one of the stocking that I start in 2 days on Friday, which is called Dash Away All, it's also a Stony Creek. It uses the new, I think this is called Colorist. It's a DMC Colorist. Is that it? I think it's called Colorist. They're basically a variegated. It's not an over dye, but a variegated. And I needed to get this. I think I said it was called Ice Blue or something like that. But it was very pretty, and I kind of liked it. So I don't know where it goes yet in the stocking, but I was like, you know, the minute I start, for sure, it's going to be in the first inch that I have to stitch. So I might as well get it today when I was picking up the petite treasure braid, because it does not need any metallics, but it did need that. Then my daughter, who gave me a gift certificate, because that was not for me, that was for the stockings, I did not put that towards my gift certificate. So while I was up there, and this piece of Velum, which is also, I mean, I already bought one for the hunter-gatherer. This particular piece of Velum, I don't know if you can see it, it had a lot of green to it. Let's see. I was really surprised, because in the fluorescent light at the store, the green just popped. And I mean, you can see a little bit of it right there. If I ink it down, you know, it had just, and even in me looking at it here, I can see the green, but I know it's not showing up on the camera well. I bought another piece of Velum because I was like, wow, I must have this. And this morning I was watching a Flosstube, and because I watched like 6 back to back, I don't remember who I was watching at the time, they were showing that they had this green tea leaf from Gentle Arts. And it is these lovely greens and browns. I don't know if you can see that. And I went and tracked it down. And I went, I don't know what I'm going to do with that, but I'm going to do something. And on the Velum, when you put the two together, they really complement each other very well. So I don't know what I'm doing. I told somebody, I said, you know what, that's going to probably be in ink circles, but I just have to decide which ink circles, because I've already got two ink circles going, which are not done yet. Yes, I have 2 ink circles going at the moment. So I need to find something that I can do that. And then, just because the floss names that got me, and these are all weeks. This is called Father's Day. And I just thought it was pretty. The blues, Made me think of that variegated floss that DMC did for their anniversary. It was 3 blues. It was like 127 or 123 or something like that. It was a variegated blue, and it was all the nine. I think it was all the 900s in one skein. And I still have two. I have 2 skeins of it. I've never used it because once I use it, it's gone. And I've been holding it off till I found the perfect pattern that only required no more than 2 skeins. But that one's called Father's Day, and I just love the name of that. And then this one, I think I actually already have a piece of this, or a card. So this is Noel, and my mother told me, she goes, "That's not Noel. Noel should be red." I said, "But I think this is Victorian Noel." And she goes, "Oh yes, that would be the correct colors then." And I was like, "See, you know, you have to think about these things." But I love these colors for Noel. And as I said, I don't know what I'm gonna do with these. I think I may have 2 skeins of Noel now. I need to really pay attention to what I buy. Anyway, Noel is going to be something Christmassy. I am working on the 2020 mystery sampler from that's on Linen and Threads, that was produced by the Fox and the Rabbit. And each month they also give you a Christmas ornament pattern. They give you the month stitching for the big piece, and then in the last page is a Christmas ornament. I haven't done any ornaments yet, but I'm thinking Noel may be one of the ornaments. I have to decide. I really think that would look good. And then Artist Design, Amanda May from Artist Design. She's so funny. I love watching her floss tubes. She is doing some red designs, and they're not very big. She's done cups, and she's done saucers, and her saucers include teacup saucers and flying saucers, which I found fascinating. Her designs are alphabet heavy, but she was talking about get a red if you're going to do one of these, and I haven't decided that I'm going to do one yet. But this is Turkish Delight, and Turkish Red. My pattern I just finished is Turkish Delight. This is Turkish Red. I love this red. I looked at it and I said, you know what? That is a red that's going to go, wow, 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 wow. It's going to pop off of whatever I put on. So just find something for Turkish Red. I don't know if I'm going to do her cup and saucer, and she said she's going to do 2 more. And today when I was watching it, she said the clue for the next one is pins, like a bowling pin. So I'm wondering if she's going to be doing, since she said they're all going to be kitchen centric, I was wondering if she's going to do rolling pins. I do bake. I like to bake. I don't like to clean up. So, and Happy Fat is, because of my baking, so I don't bake as often as anymore. And then the last one I bought was this one. This is called Trick or Treat. And I don't do Halloween, but this yellow and the gold and the brown, it's not really black, but those colors there, I just thought those were stunning together. And I don't know what I'll do with them. I don't know, maybe something sunflowerish or something, but I like those. Maybe some bees or something. But that is all of my haul. That is my stitching that I have done. That is everything that I've got going on right now. I hope if you're still here, if you're still watching the end, thank you. I was very excited when I found out I had subscribers. I really thought only my daughter was going to subscribe, and that way so she could keep track of her son's Christmas stocking. Thank you for the few kind words that I got. I don't have a lot of subscribers, but thank you. I was excited that you subscribed. I hope that you get some enjoyment out of watching some of the things I'm doing, and maybe do a stocking or 2 of your own. I'm sitting in a different spot today, and I wanted to show you this piece up here. That piece up there is, there we go. That piece up there is there we go. The 2012 free pattern, I think it's called Antique Sampler, from Ellen Maurer-Stroh. I believe it's still on the website, but it's kind of like a Bavarian sampler, Bavarian needlework. There is no alphabet on that, so it was definitely a doer for me. So I love that pattern. A friend of mine who stitched, she passed away, and she asked for the pattern, and we gave it to her, but I don't think she was ever able to get it done. So I was very sorry to when we lost her. She was a wonderful stitcher. But I hope everything is going well for you. Stay safe, be good, follow directions. Things are opening up here in Texas. I hope things are starting to open up for you. Just, remember to take your mask with you, so if somebody asks you to, you can put it on. I hope that everything is happy until we see each other again. Y'all have a great day stitching, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.